It's 16 below, and I wanna die. Fuck this shit, I fucking hate the cold. Fuck, I wanna die, fucking kill me. Is this camera lined up? Why am I singing? Fucking kill me. What's up, everyone? Sean Count Blagrath here today doing a rant, I guess, or discussion. I want this to be more of a discussion than a rant, so bear with me. It's 16 below zero right now, and I got a drafty window. I'm freezing my ass off. I have work in the morning. I'm kind of miserable. So excuse my attitude. A couple things I want to say first. Anybody that pre-ordered a shirt, it's finally going out. I got the shirts as I said in my collection update last time, I was sick. I didn't want to send out shirts. Sneezing, hacking, coughing all over them. So tomorrow when I get home from work, I'm going to pack them. They'll all be out Monday. If you have an order for anything, it's going out Monday. You should all have them in hand. And if when you get them, send me a picture over on my Instagram at Count Blagrath, and also I have some reviews coming up. So, yeah. Review actually will be up day after this video is up. So, yeah. Anyways, off subject. I have a major gripe. I have a major fucking gripe. And that is with labels creating hype and flippers. Now, I'm going to say this. Hype for a label is a very good thing. It's a very good thing to have hype behind your releases. It's one of those things that can help your business, and a record label is a business at the end of the day, and bands are products to these labels. It is what it is. Here's the thing that annoys me. There's some labels, and there's this really big trend. I don't know if you guys really noticed, but black metal is trendy as shit. I've been into black metal since 2003-ish, 2004 at the very latest I got into it, and I've never seen so many people like it till now, and it's unbelievable, and it's a double-edged sword in many ways. But that's not what this video is about. One of the big things that's trendy is finding the rawest, most obscure, most harsh sounding raw black metal you could possibly find. Some people think Black Celice is too clean and they want something more raw and more filthy, and that's all well and good. But if you try to deny that it's a trend now, you're fucking straight up lying to yourself. And here's how I know it's a trend. There are certain labels, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to slander certain labels and their business practices, but if I see something that's bullshit, I'm going to talk about it. And what's bullshit are labels that have a few practices I've noticed. And some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about when I go on with this. I hate labels that will say, we're going to put up the pre-orders for this album on, let's say, the 26th, all right? But they don't tell you what time on the 26th. There's only going to be 100 copies of this album that you've been wanting for a long time. First press sold out like that. A bunch of hype came around that release. Everybody wants to get their hands on a copy, but they're only doing 100 copies. Why? I don't know. But then they have a brilliant idea. Let's not tell people when it's going to go up. So they have to sit at their computer and constantly refresh, waiting for the exact moment for that to go up before the scumbags, the flippers, and the people that are only in it for the value of... All I got is this cassette tape right here, not my phone, because my phone's recording, but so I can get this perfect picture for their Instagram. They can post it in hashtag black metal, hashtag black metal vinyl. Check out my big swinging dick of raw black metal, and that's fine and dandy. I like showing off records. I'm not shitting on that aspect. But a lot of the people that buy these releases tend to be trendy motherfuckers that are only in it because they get cool cult points. That's lame as shit, and anybody does that, fuck you. So it's annoying that you have to sit there and constantly refresh and hope that you can order it just in time before these people order it. Now, why is it such a struggle to get these records? Because the labels, it's this very weird paradox, and it goes back a long way in black metal of we got to keep the releases limited because that way only the true diehards get their hands on it. And that's nice in theory, because realistically, this sort of shit, there should only be 100 people that are into it, and maybe 200, and only half of them would be willing to buy it. In theory, that's a nice theory, but that's not how it's working currently. And in fact, it does the opposite of keeping the posers out and the diehards from getting copies. It actually is making it harder for the diehards to get copies and the posers to get their hands on it. So it's this very weird paradox. And the thing that annoys me with some of these bands, and not even the bands really, it's not really their fault. It's more the fault of the label. With the first press, any label that's worth a shit reinvests. They don't sit around with just spending the money that they get in from these records, because if you want to continue to have a successful record label, you got to reinvest your money into it so you can release more shit. Now, if these labels were worth two shits and they had two brain cells to rub together, they would see, damn, this record's selling for $300 over on Discogs. Shit, on eBay last week, that copy that had a seam split sold for $200. This is insane. We should probably, capitalize on this. We should probably make this more available for people. And I know the cost of record printing very well. I'm working on putting out a record right now. I put out one already. It's expensive as shit, but at the same time, I know the turnaround on it. You can't sit there and tell me with a straight face, any of these labels, that the cost is too much for you to do a run of, let's say the first press was 100 copies, you couldn't scrounge up enough to print 300. If you say that with a straight face, you're fucking lying to me. Especially for the prices that some of these labels charge, like $25 for a single LP. And some of the bullshit that you have to go through to even get in contact with a label for some of these places is absolutely ridiculous. You almost have to know a secret handshake followed by a secret sentence, and then join a seance and give some blood in your firstborn to be able to be considered worthy of buying these records. And then sometimes these label owners that make it such a task to flip their own records. I'm not going to say the label that has done that, but me and some of my friends have kind of figured out a label that has been doing that shit, that flips their own records on Discogs, and if that dude ever sees this video, you're a fucking scumbag. And then there's these other labels. This is my personal favorite. These labels that ran out of somebody's apartment, all right? But they're always the ones to find that box of 50 copies that they lost, and we're just going to throw them up randomly, and first come, first serve, and then 10 people buy those copies, and usually at least one of those douchebags bought probably 10 of them. All right, while editing this video, there's one other point I want to bring up. These bands are begging to get their shit bootlegged because nobody in their right mind is going to be willing to spend $200+ on a fucking record, and it's just easier to buy the bootleg, so these bands are begging for it. Do I support it? No. Do I think they deserve it to an extent? Yeah. So the point I'm making with this is fuck shady labels. Fuck fake hype. If you truly give a shit about the music and you're a label and you're in it for the music, you should try your best to make it widely available. That's the goal with the shit that I do, is I don't want to do these obscure bullshit runs. I want to make it so people can get their hands on shit. I like Heritage Records out of the Ukraine, for example. They do it right. They tell you what time, what day the records are going up, and they tell you what versions are going to go up. We have a box set of the new Nocturnal Mortem. There's 2 versions, a black vinyl and a color vinyl. Then there'll be a black vinyl and color vinyl separate from the box. There'll be this many copies available, first come, first serve. And sometimes they'll even do 1 per customer, which I think is fantastic, and that is how you run a label. So shout out to Heritage Records. That is what I support, are labels that actually give a shit about the people that are buying it and people getting their hands on the music, because at the end of the day, we are all in this for the music. And now I got one little side tangent to go on that's related, and I feel like it's going to resonate with some of you, which is not only as a fan of the music, but as a collector, it's very frustrating with some of these labels because, and I know I'm not the only one that's like this, I've talked with people that are just like this, where, yeah, the music is what's important. It's the most important part of your purchase, but part of it, though, is the experience. And when I say that, it's the process of walking over to your shelf. If you're like me and you have, CDs, cassette, and vinyl, you're like, well, what am I feeling like playing? Do I want a cassette, CD, or a record? Then you think to yourself, okay, I'll take a record. And then you walk over to your shelf, well, what am I feeling? And you start flipping through, and then you pull that record out and you put it on the turntable, you drop the needle, you read the liner notes, if there's any, the credits, if there's any, because some of these black metal bands are too cult to put thanks or credits, because fuck you. And looking at the artwork while listening to the music, and it's a completely different experience than just sitting at your computer and just going play. And for me, that is what I like. And I'm to the point now where if the band's not Black Salice in raw black metal, I don't really give a fuck, because at least Black Salice is signed to Iron Bonehead, and they know how to run a label, which is to provide enough copies for everyone. It's not, well, it's sold out, so fuck you, you're not getting it. Or we're going to reprint it, but we're going to make it very limited. Very, very limited. So you can't get your hands on one unless you're sitting at your computer or hugging your phone all day or night, depending on your time zone. So I guess that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna edit this together, go to bed, go to work, come home, pack shit, and see comments of you guys fighting each other in the comments or saying that I sound like I'm about to cry. So yeah, there it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.